Page 45, Yellow Submarine. On page 44, they're introducing you to the dotted eighth note. Oh, goody. Well, if you understand what a dotted note, how they work, it doesn't matter what the note is. They all work the same. And that is the dot gets half the value of the note, whatever it is. So we've had dotted half notes forever. In 4/4 time, a half note would get 2 counts, so the dot would get 1. That's half the value of 2, and you just put them together and 3 counts total. I tell people just memorize that a dotted half note is the same as 3/4 notes. It's the same as 3 of whatever the note is under it. 3/4 notes. Well, a dotted eighth note, again, in 4/4 time, an eighth note gets half a count, so the dot gets half of that, or it's just like a 16th note. It's just put them together, so the dotted eighth note gets 3/4 of a count, or it's the same as 3 16th notes. It's 3 of whatever the note is under it. They all work the same way. If you had a dotted whole note, you could do that, believe it or not. Then the whole note gets however many counts, then the dot would get half of that, and you put them together for the whole thing. Doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. So there are different ways of counting it. I just do the 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. Hey, this type thing. They've got Humpty Dumpty going on, and if you want to do Humpty Dumpty, you go right ahead. As far as the stress goes, that depends on what kind of music you're playing. And the kind that we're doing here, the stress goes on the dotted eighth note. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Just make the 16th note short. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. Hum-ty-dum, whatever. If you're playing jazz, the stress goes on the 16th note. It goes bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. That throws it off. Jazz is very syncopated. So here on Yellow Submarine, common time, so we're coming in on beat 3, or beat 4. Some beat over there, you'll figure it out here. And it's 4E and 1. Just take it really slow at first to make sure you understand the rhythms. 4E and 1, 2, 3E and. Just don't turn them into triplets. That's what people tend to do. Ba, 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 ba. If it starts rocking like that, you've turned it into triplets. The short notes got to be short and crisp. So forth. So be careful. It's the only hard part of this dotted rhythm stuff is you'll start playing the short note too long, and that turns it into a different rhythm. Now the last measure of the first line, look out. The first beat is, and the quarter note comes on beat 2. 1, 2, and on beat 3 there's a rest, a dotted eighth rest. It works the same way as the note except you're quiet. So 1, 2, 3E and 4E and that's all. And there's a note in the left hand. You can see in the bottom step there's a note on beat 3, so you can kind of use that as your guide. 3, 3, rest. That's really what it is. Just keep the notes, the short notes, short. This is like one sharp in the key signature. It's in the key of G major. All the F's are sharpened. And try again. Let's just make sure we got the notes here and play it all connected except for the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest. Fourth finger. Rest. 2, come up. To do all that. Third line down, second measure. Quarter notes. It's an A, a B, and a D. Then thumb comes down. It's the chord, and then that's by itself. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now I don't like this. Yuck. I would suggest instead of 1, 2, you do a 1, 3. Now you might do 1, 2 on the first one because you're coming from here. And it's easier to do 1 and then change it to 3. Because then when you go to do the half note, you just use 2. And do all of these in the next line same way. 1, 3, 2. And then you can come down here if you want. How you think, doesn't matter because they're all white notes there. So again, third line, second measure here. Keep going. Now you can use the fingering in the book if you want. You can also do a 2-4 here if you want. You lift up and do it again. So forth. Left hand. The left hand is the beat. The left hand is the drums. Follow the fingering, it's good. Second line. I like this using different fingers here. Not a lot going on in the left hand. Put the hands together. Slowly. I know, but this is my slow. You take it your slow later. Just in the last measure, the first line. Make sure you lift up when you play the third beat. Lift up, play the rest in the right hand. Just again, keep the 16th notes short. Don't turn them into triplets. Then we can do, well, dynamic wise, they're all suggestions. It's the melody is sort of soft. These chords, this is going to be a challenge, and at least it is for me. You got to keep these very soft. Staying in the medium soft range, you can get a little louder and softer. But then when you get to the second section, the third line, second measure, see the double bars, and now you've gone up to you're crescendoing up to it in the measure before, so it's a. Don't get loud here. Just come up. You are very soft. You can kind of go up to moderately soft. But that's the loud part. The left hand's got to stay down. Bum, 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 with the wrist. And the whole part there, that whole section is on the loud side. Then the articulation. This is slurred, except for the rest. The left hand starts out staccato, wrist staccato, short, soft. To the third line, it changes a little bit. So now it's staccato in the right hand, the left hand's connected. Keep the left hand soft though. Staccato. Then we talk about the speed. You need to feel it in 4. There's all kinds of recordings of this. This is a famous Beatles piece. I'd like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics, but I'll do the staccatos. So I'll give us 3 counts. Let's just try it slowly together. 1 and ready and go, and 3 and